Good morning, Gemini. I am hoping for a good reading from you today. I really need a lovely pick-me-up reading because I'll be honest with you, I'm not in the best mood at the moment. My mood kind of took a nosedive yesterday, and then it's been in the pits ever since. So I'm hoping that your fun energy can kind of lift my spirits back up again. I'm hoping possibly for a love reading. Venus is in Gemini right now, so yeah, I could do with a love reading from you today, Gemini. We'll see what we get. I've also been guided to use the spirit animal deck to get an energy for your reading, so I think we'll do that now. Oh, straight away one's come out, and you've got the hawk. So the hawk is about looking at things from a bigger perspective, a higher perspective, searching for something, spreading your wings. There's a slight aggressiveness, I'd say, to the hawk, in that, you know, you're maybe perhaps searching for something that you want, and, you know, you're willing to go in, talons out to get it. Well, this is a good start, Gemini. I feel your reading's quite exciting already. I think I'll put that right down there. There we go. So I did get a couple of songs through for you, and these are predictably a Billie Eilish song, because every day I seem to get a Billie Eilish song now, and this one is Everything I Wanted, particularly the kind of... It's a bit of a dark song, but I'm getting some of the nicer lines through. So, no one can hurt you. While I'm here, no one can hurt you. And then particularly towards the end, there's a bit where it's saying, if they knew what they said would go straight to my head, what would they say instead? And if I could do it again, what would I do instead? So there may be a sense of perhaps looking back at the past and thinking, how could I have done things differently? Looking at things that people said. You do have the vulture in your underlying, but I'm tempted to shuffle these again. There we go. So the moth. So the moth is someone who's moving towards the light, coming out of the darkness and moving towards the light. That's in your underlying. Trying to think if I had anything else to say before we get started. Obviously, read the description below. That tells you a little bit about the use of terms of like masculine and feminine, and how those can be swapped around. So if you feel like I'm talking about someone in your reading and you think, actually, that sounds more like me, you can switch the roles around as they fit your situation, and maybe picking up the energy of the people who you're connecting with. And obviously take what resonates, leave anything that doesn't. If it doesn't sound like this is your reading, then don't try and force it to fit. Yeah, I think with that we'll get started. So I'm going to do past, present, future, heart space, head space, action space. I'm going to go to the Tarot de la Nuit deck first, to pull for your heart space. So past heart space for Gemini, please. Let's have a lovely reading. Oh, I didn't tell you the second song. The second song was Happy Together by the Turtles. I think it's by the Turtles. I think that's what they were called. But it's Imagine Me and You. I do. I think about you day and night. It's that song. It's really, really cute. So happy together. So I want a happy together reading, Gemini. What's in your past heart space, Gemini? Here we go. Justice in your past heart space. Wanting justice in a situation, or perhaps some sort of legal situation, contracts involved, searching for the truth in a situation, trying to bring fairness into your heart space. Perhaps something was a decision that was made was fair, perhaps. Or you could be thinking about a Libra. The Justice is the Libra card. Are you thinking about me, Gemini? I'm a Libra. I'm a Libra and I have a Gemini moon. And I always blame my Gemini moon for my kind of messiness. You can see now where I'm starting and stopping something. This is very Gemini energy. Gemini moon has a lot to answer for. keep going. Gemini's current heart space. This card wants to come out. What is it? The Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is a card about communication. It's about action, movement forward. You may have a lot of communication coming into you. You may be sending out loads of emails, loads of text messages. Let me have a closer look at this card myself. I'm noticing on this card how bound she is. She has this, oh sorry, adjusting the camera there. She has this corset on, it's quite tight or laced up. She also has this choker on. Now the choker is at the throat, and the throat chakra is all about communication. My throat chakra has been acting up quite a lot. I've had a bit of a cold, and yeah, definitely feeling that tightness in my throat. So your throat chakra may be blocked. There may be something that you need to say that you haven't said. This may be something that you know intuitively in your heart space, that you need to say something and you haven't said it, or that someone needs to communicate with you something with you but they haven't said it yet. Okay, future heart space please for Gemini. That is too many cards. Gemini. Now, you can't have everything all the time. It does this to me a lot in my readings as well. I'm team all the things, so it's forever giving me half the deck. I can't take that many cards. Less cards, please. Be more concise. But they were rare signs. We have a lot to say. Here we go. Your future heart space is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a card about needing to take a bit of a time out, needing to take a rest, maybe feeling a little bit overworked. I'm mostly getting just needing a time out, just needing a bit of a rest, a good sleep. Perhaps something's coming in for you and you need to sort of get your rest to prepare for it. What time does it say on that clock? 4:45? 4:45, and then what's this clock in the background? Oh, it's sideways. 4:45, and what's that, about 7 or 8 minutes past 3? So those times may be significant for you. I don't know if you want to make a quick note of them. I'm also seeing the cobweb, so there may be something that you've been waiting for that's taking a long time to come in, and waiting for this is causing you kind of putting pressure on your patience. I'd say we're not known air signs for our patience. So if there is something you've been waiting for a long time, it's something you intuitively know is coming in your heart space, then your patience may be wearing a little bit thin. It may be taking its toll on you. You may be feeling slightly exhausted. Okay, we will be pulling clarifiers for these cards, so take what's fitting here and leave what doesn't. These cards may change meaning when we get some clarifiers for them. In your underlying, you have the Tower, so the Tower may have already happened, or it may be coming up in your future. It's a card about realizations. Some people see the Tower as like a super destructive card, you know, something comes in that's unexpected and it shakes up your life. That's not always necessarily a bad thing. A lot of time, if something's been quite stagnant in our life, or if we've fallen into bad habits, the Tower can come into as a kind of lightning bolt moment, a moment of realization where you shake up your life for better. So there may have been something that felt like it came in quite suddenly and created a change in your life, or this could be coming up for you. Okay, I'm moving on to the Haunted House Tarot for your past, present and future thoughts. So past thoughts for Gemini, please. I'm not seeing any love in this reading yet, Gemini. I'm going to tell you off. I need all my Geminis to go out and fall in love and be happy so that you can be a pick-me-up in my readings. Maybe when I get to Libra tend to have love readings. Yeah, your there we go. Your god, associated god would be Mercury, or your associated planet would be Mercury, which is all to do with communication. So I'm not surprised to see the Ace of Wands in the middle of your reading. In your past heart space, you have the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups, if I just show you the top half of the card there, you can see all those people sort of celebrating, having a few drinks together, having a bit of fun, gossiping, chatting. And that's kind of what this card's about. But on the image on this card, the girl's she's kind of trapped in her own little world there of emotions. You know, she's feeling quite separate from the crowd. She's looking up and wishing she could be out having fun and partying with her friends, but she's stuck in her emotions there. And that's, I wouldn't be surprised that this card's come out actually with Gemini being a very sociable sign, and with COVID, because obviously everybody's been separated from the friends, everybody's missing going out, having drinks, going to gigs, meeting up with friends and family. So this may be what you've been thinking about in the past, Gemini. You may have felt a bit like this is an injustice, that you can't meet up with your friends. It's not fair. Okay, current headspace for Gemini, please. Oh, a card tried to flip then and went back in. I didn't see what it was though, unfortunately. I wish I did. Something's trying to hide from me. Here we go. Got 2 cards for your current thoughts. You've got the Three of Wands and the the Page of Wands. I always read this as the Page of Pentacles. It's like an offer coming in. But it's a very creative offer, creative project, or you're making plans for something new and creative. This may be something that you need to research more. And the Three of Wands is this kind of watching and waiting energy. Now, I did actually pick up, just dropping everything today, definitely not fire on all cylinders today. I did pick up on this kind of watching and waiting energy with the Four of Swords. So you are actually in your headspace now waiting for something. And I can see that you're still waiting for this, sadly, in the future, it looks like. The carousel. I'm just going to pause for a second on that carousel. Yeah, a message is trying to come through with this carousel. I watched a film from the 90s called The Crush yesterday with Alicia Silverstone in, and I can't pronounce his name. The Crush, it's called. It's a thriller about a young girl who develops a crush on her lodger, and this the images on this card are kind of reminding me of the house that she lived in, and in the attic, her dad had, without doing too many spoilers, but in the attic, her dad had a full carousel, and it's because when she was little, he thought it'd be a nice thing to do this carousel for her, but it took him so long to do it that she grew out of it. And there's a line where she says, I ride real horses now, Daddy. So what I'm getting there is there's a sense of you're waiting for something, but perhaps you're growing up. This thing is taking such a long time that you're potentially growing out of it. You may no longer want to wait for this. You may want to move towards the light yourself. And perhaps this is the higher perspective. Almost wanting to get off this carousel because it's going round and round and round and round. You've been waiting and waiting and waiting. It's going round and round. It's taking forever to come. And you kind of need to step off that carousel now. Again, I'll pull clarifiers and we'll see. And we'll pull an advice card as well to get some more clarity. But too many cards again. Oh, Gemini. You and Libra. Trouble causes of the they're not actually. Libra's the Justice card of the tarot. but we do like to have a lot of cards. We do tend to overthink things. You know, we're both signs of duality. Gemini, you know, has this duality of nature, this black and white nature, and Libra can weigh up both sides of a situation. You know, see both sides of a situation, weigh up an argument. So we both have too many thoughts going on in our head all the time. Poor us, Gemini. The people don't know our struggles. Gemini, you finally came through for me with the Lovers card. Yes, I knew we'd get Venus in here somewhere. The Lovers card in the upright. So this is a positive card. They are getting caught in the act there. But yeah, the Lovers in the upright is a positive card. It's actually the Gemini card. So you could just be thinking about putting yourself first, loving yourself. I touch myself. So, but it could be a love interest. I'm excited. I'm excited because I need some love in your reading. In the underline, you have the Three of Pentacles, which is a card about working together, people using their unique talents in a situation to get the best outcome. But I can see that someone's hurt. Someone's perhaps feeling possibly like their needs aren't being met, like they're being ignored by this lady here, but this other person is trying to help her. You know, you can see she's hurt, she's clutching your wrist. So there may be you may feel like your talents aren't being put to proper use. Sorry, I'm all over the place again today. I was going to tell you another anecdote about I did a spread for myself yesterday, and I'm getting a lot of Shakespeare through in a lot of the readings recently. A lot of things about plays and lines from Shakespeare. I don't know why. It might be because I drink out of a Shakespeare mug. Could be that. But yesterday I got, it was giving me Othello, and I got, what was it? Sort of monumental alabaster. So I looked it up, looked up the scene, and it's I think it's in Act 5. It's towards the end of the play when I mean, I'd say spoilers, but the play's been out for what, 400 years now, so you know, if you don't know it by now. But it's Othello is in a relationship with Desdemona. They're and left alone to their own devices, they're hopelessly in love. It's like a beautiful relationship, you know, very loving. And there's a character who's kind of the evil character called Iago, and he puts all these seeds of doubt in Othello's mind, to convince him that Desdemona's cheating on him. And the soliloquy that I got was Othello descending into madness, saying basically, if I can't have her, no one can. And it's a really horrible scene to read. It's a really difficult scene, and I think this is partly what's upset me quite a lot. That may be a message for someone, so do go and look up that scene. It's if you Google Othello monumental alabaster, it will come up with that scene. Yeah, really a difficult scene, and I don't know why I'm being called to mention it now. I think if you're in a relationship where you feel in danger or someone's distrusting you, then that's a bit of a warning sign there that perhaps you need to get help. There's in the UK we have a charity called Women's Aid that can help people if they are at risk of domestic violence. That's quite a heavy message there, but I do feel like I have to say it in case it is somebody's message. Do look after yourselves. Don't put yourself in difficult situations. Okay, onto the action space, Gemini. Or don't allow yourself to be put in difficult situations. You know, you have personal autonomy. You can get out. Okay, in your past action space, you have the Page of Cups. This can be an apology. It can be an offer of love, an offer of friendship, some kind of situation where you need to work together with someone or come into a partnership with someone. It's the expect the unexpected card, because you can see she has a fish coming out of the cup. It's like you wouldn't expect that fish to be there, but it is there. Um, I also get from this card, there's this huge wave that's about to knock her over. And I always feel that's a wave of emotions, and especially paired with the Three of Cups here in your thoughts, representing sort of almost drowning in emotions. There's a danger here with these this wave of emotions could have come in and overwhelmed you. It could have hurt you. Could have knocked you down and caused you to go into this Four of Swords energy. You do have this hawk wanting to take a higher perspective. Okay, so that was in your past. Let's see what's going on in your future action space. Sorry about the break there. I ran out of space filming. I'd forgotten to delete yesterday's video, so I've done that now. So we're back with your, excuse me, current action space, Gemini. Current action space, the Chariots, yeah, movement forward, needing to make a choice, needing to make a decision. You have this duality again of the black horse and the white horse, and this could be two different sides of your nature, trying to harness two different sides of your nature to bring them together. Excuse me, really having a lot of trouble with your reading today. Where can I put this? I'm going to put it up there. Yeah, but it's actually quite fast movement forwards. But with the Three of Wands in your thoughts, you may be feeling like you need to kind of hold your horses, pull back. You have these horses on the carousel as well, so there's this sense of the horses going round and round and round. So there may be a lot of action, but you're not actually getting anywhere, and you're still waiting to see the results from this. And in your future action space, you have the Page of Swords. Now, this can be a card about spying. This card in particular gives me spying because it's got this raven on it as well. And it's also a card of needing to get more information, wanting to get your facts straight, communicating quite raw communication. You can see he's holding this sword, which represents quite cutting, quite sharp communication. This may be coming from you, it may be coming into you. I'm going to pull the clarifiers so we can find out more about that. But in the underlying, you have the Nine of Wands. Now, the Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior card. It's going through something that feels really quite exhausting, really quite draining. It's been a challenge for you, but you're coming to the end of that. You're still standing. You're still fighting. You're still on your feet. You're persisting with this journey, and the next card is the Ten of Wands, where you can put down your burdens and then move on to a new cycle. So you're getting towards the end of your journey now. Whatever this challenge has been for you, it will have been a long process, but it is coming to a close. Okay, I'm going to pull the clarifiers now from the Lisa Parker's Tarot Familiars deck. I'll put clarifiers for all these cards. I'm just going to pause, take a few minutes to look at them, and then I'll be back with the full interpretation of your reading. Okay, Gemini, so a lot of cards here. Going back to that Hawk card and needing to take a higher perspective, kind of looking at the lay of the land. I feel like this is what you've been doing because you have a lot of birds here. You've got all these owls, so there's 5 owls here and 3 ravens. Now, owls are a bird about knowledge, and ravens are a bird about potentially spying or gathering information. The ravens gather the information, the owls hold the information and process it. So I feel like this is what you've been doing in the past. Now, you've got the 8 of Swords with the Knight of Swords here, and they also came out in your reading. 8 of Wands, I may have said swords there, 8 of Wands, and the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords. What I'm getting is there's really this theme of communication and gathering information throughout your reading. There's some sense of justice with it, and especially in the past, you may have felt that you wanted to get justice, which is why you were collecting this information, or that there may have been a situation that you felt was justified, and you've almost had to, it's almost brought in this new sense of knowledge for you. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. So the situation, something was revealed with this Knight of Swords. Something was communicated, something was revealed that has brought you new information, and you've been processing this, and I feel like waiting for the right time to act on it. With the Three of Cups and the Knave of Cups and the Page of Cups here, the Knave of Cups and the Page of Cups are the same card. This is this new offer, this new love offer. You've got the Hangman with it and the Death card. The Hangman has this skull on it, and it's also notable that the skull, if I pick it up for you, the skull has a map of the world on it, and you also have the World card here. So there's almost like some kind of offer that would have started a new journey for you, a whole new phase of your life. I feel would have come in with this offer. However, I feel like the offer was premature. Okay, that was a bit creepy. My door opened very slowly, and I thought it was my children because it's very early in the morning. I thought they were waking up and trying to see if they could come in my room, and it wasn't my children. My daughter was in bed and my son was already downstairs. So I don't know who was opening my door. Bit creepy. So you have this offer coming in, which I feel was a bit premature because I feel like it would have set off this new cycle in your life, and you weren't ready for it. So there was some kind of, not a complete ending. The Death card is normally a complete ending, but more of it's just not the right time. You've got 2 clocks here, not the right time. And I did pick up on these 2 clocks here in your future heart space. I do feel like this is potentially a love offer, or definitely some kind of partnership, because you have the 2 of Cups here. So you may be feeling in your future that it is the right time now. You want this. Perhaps you made the offer and you're thinking, when is it going to be the right time for this 2 of Cups? When is this going to happen? I feel that it feels like it's a long time coming. This 8 of Wands in your past heart space is still in your current heart space. The 8 of Wands with the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a maturation of the Knave of Cups or the Page of Cups. So this love offer is maturing. It's like a fine cheese or a fine wine. It is coming. It may be a slow process, but it is maturing and getting to a place where it's going to be suitable for you. You wouldn't want to have, if you were baking a cake, you wouldn't want to get it out of the oven too early and have all the eggs still runny in the middle. Cut into it and it's still gooey and not done in the middle. You want it to be perfectly cooked, so it's light and fluffy and delicious. And it's the same thing with whatever this offer is that you're making or that someone is making to you. It needs time to mature properly. It needs time to bake properly. And it's baking. It's moved from the Page to the Knight of Cups. We really want to see the Queen and King of Cups here. Next time I do your reading, I want to see the Queen and the King of Cups. So there's this sense of being on a merry-go-round, of waiting and waiting and waiting, and you're waiting for something that you feel is going to bring you a lot of stability. So it doesn't have to be a love relationship, it can be a work relationship with the 10 of Pentacles. It's something to do with feeling grounded, it's something possibly monetary, it's something to do with your 3D world, with your comforts. It could literally be cakes, something tangible in the real world. And there's this Judgment card as well. So I feel like perhaps a judgment call was made regarding this, or the Judgment call card is also about hearing the call, about knowing something's coming, knowing that the universe has something for you, knowing that the time is approaching. I really do feel like this is what you're getting here. I'll come back to that card, I think, in a minute. In your action space, in your current action space, it's this Chariot card, which is this movement, wanting to move forward. You got the Five of Wands, which is a card about conflict, about fighting. And I was sort of thinking to myself, well, I wonder what that fighting is. Is she fighting? I'm saying she. Are you a she? You don't have to be. Is this Gemini fighting for something? And the answer came yes. Another card came out. The Seven of Wands is a card about standing up for something that you believe in. It's a card of fighting for, defending something that's important to you, or fighting for something is what I'm getting here. And that's what you're currently doing in your current action space. So yeah, moving forward, I've spoke about how this in your heart space with this Judgment card, you know something is coming in for you. You know that this offer, this partnership is coming in for you, but because it's taking such a long time, it's really wearing you out. It's really draining you. Again, it's like this is your thought space. So in your thoughts, you are seeing this partnership. You're imagining, possibly fantasizing about what this is going to be like. You know, if you're waiting, perhaps your love interest is on the other side of the world and you can't fly to them right now. So you're imagining what this union is going to be like. This Knight of Pentacles is here. So this is the Knights. All the Knights are about bringing in offers, about movement forward towards something. So we have this Knight of Pentacles, and this might be you or your love interest, but it's, you know, the Knights are meant to be rushing in, and this poor Knight, this poor wolf is just waiting for the right time, sort of looking into this water, daydreaming, reflecting, using their intuition with this moon card, knowing that something's coming for them, and yet they can't quite jump straight into their emotions just yet. They have to be patient, they have to wait. Like I say, you had the hangman energy there of having to wait. Oh, your frustration, Gemini, I can feel the frustration. But the Knight of Pentacles is with the Ace of Pentacles. It does have this offer coming in for you. It's there, it's sat there waiting. It's ready to go, it's ready to move. Oh, there's heartbreak here in your future action space, and I'm seeing as well the heartbreak on this Judgment card. If I just move it really close to you, can you see? There's the Three of Swords there. Now, you have the Page of Swords, the Three of Swords, and the Five of Cups in the reverse. So what I'm reading this is. Now, there's a few different ways to read it, but the main message I'm getting from it is that someone is cutting out heartbreak. If there has been a situation that's felt like heartbreaking in the past, you're cutting it out because you have the Five of Cups in the reverse. The Five of Cups is a card about loss, about disappointment, about a situation not going the way you wanted it to, and it usually depicts someone crying over 3 spilt cups on the ground, and they're not seeing the 2 cups. The 2 cups, Gemini, being offered to them. So if you are feeling heartbroken about a situation, how a situation turned out, you know, these 2 cups are trying to come into you. This new partnership, this new offer. Again, it doesn't have to be love. It can be a work partnership, a friendship. So yeah, with the Five of Cups being in reverse, I feel like you're going to wake up from this, and you're going to see the loss and disappointment of some kind of previous situation from a new perspective with this Hawk card. You'll have gained knowledge, I feel, throughout this period of having to wait. You know, that's a time of incubation about some kind of self-development, some kind of knowledge percolating in there. And this, you know, so this time of waiting, you know, has served you because I feel like it's made you stronger. It's given you clarity about what you want. So yeah, Page of Swords, I feel cutting out this, or drawing a line under some kind of heartbreak or loss or disappointment from the past with this death card. Whatever this past disappointment was, you're getting over that, and I feel like you need to get over that before you can move into whatever this is, whatever you instinctively know is coming your way, because this, right, let's just get rid of all of that. Let's get rid of all that, and that you can get out of here too. Go, shh, you're not wanted. This is what we want, Gemini. This is what we want to focus on. Moving on. Finding this new partnership. You had the High Priestess as well in your underlying intuition, intuitively knowing that this is coming in for you. You may not even know this person yet. You may not have even met them yet. This might be an entirely new person, but it's coming your way. So keep your eyes open. Waiting for this Ace of Pentacles, knowing that this really fulfilling relationship is coming to you. It's almost like a perfect match. But the Ace of Pentacles, it's a slow moving knight. Oh, it's the slowest moving knight in the deck. Having to wait for is it an earth sign you're waiting for? Having to wait for an earth sign? No. Air signs are too finicky. We don't like having to wait. We want things now. We're as bad as fire signs. Okay. So, let's get an advice card for you from the Akashic Tarot. We need advice, don't we, Gemini? If it tells us to be patient, I'm not going to be happy. Okay. We have the Architect. This is kind of a card about taking time to work on something. The Architect, they're working on this building, and it's like it's not going to happen overnight. The pyramids weren't built overnight. It took planning, it took preparation, it took hard work, it took teamwork, all these things that we don't want to wait for. Okay, let's read it. Let's read the One of Keys. What is your advice, Gemini? God, I feel your pain. Okay, here we go. I'll hold it up for you so you can have a look while I'm reading. A man and woman in rich Egyptian dress stand at a table filled with structural drawings and measuring utensils. He is the architect of all they survey, and he points to an unseen building in this expansive project. Throughout the scene, many workers toil on foundations, pylons, and palaces. At a mundane level, you could find yourself involved in a building project or renovating and redecorating your home or workplace. Most important, this card shows that it's time for you to step into a position of power. In order to do that, you must recognise your talents and strengths, as well as your authority to take charge. An opportunity beckons that utilises your skills perfectly. Feel the command you have over the great scope of the situation and take charge. So what's he pointing to? He's pointing to this Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles can be about making plans as well. The aces are more conceptual than the knights and the pages. The pages and the knights are actually bringing in the offer or the opportunity or the whatever it is. The aces are more conceptual. It's more about having the idea or knowing that something new is coming in. The Architect is pointing at that Ace of Pentacles. It can show you something specific about your plans or change of plans. It can also alert you to unseen events or people of influence that are not yet known to you. Yeah, you may not even know this is coming in. The Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles too can be cards about doing more research, going back to the drawing board, making plans. So you may have to really ground yourself and start, make a plan. Look at what you want in life and say, right, well, how do I get there? What can I do that's tangible and beneficial now in order to move forwards towards the things that I want in life? And it may be something simple. It may be, for example, I want to start, I may not even do it. I'm looking into recording games, possibly doing a gaming channel, I don't know. But I can't figure out the microphone at the moment on my computer. So I've ordered, I've been trying to use a headset with a mic attached, and it's not having any of it. So I've ordered a microphone today from Amazon. So hopefully that'll be here soon. So it's, yeah, ordering the microphone, that's a tangible step. I made a list of things I needed to do yesterday, and one of the things on it was order a microphone, and I've done it. So there we go, that's progress. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you don't know what the next step is, you're waiting for something, what can you do that's tangible right now? What can you do? And it may be something like, if you're in a bad mental space because you're feeling overwhelmed because there's too much to do, there's too much housework to do. Well, okay, but you could do one thing. You could put one load of laundry through, and that's one thing that you've done in a positive situation. So you can see how you can break things down into smaller steps to create progress. And even if it's the tiniest bit of progress, it's still progress. Okay, I'll stop lecturing you now. I don't know why that turned into a lecture. I'm so sorry. I think I was actually lecturing myself there. It's like, right, come on, stop feeling sorry for yourself and move forward. Take care, Gemini. Good luck. I know you'll get there. Gemini, you're awesome.